I mentioned horizontal pursuits. Pursuits. Hey, you got the horizontal pursuits. Horizontal pursuits a lot. I fucking did it again. And then I swore. Is this good? That's going to be a problem? You can swear, but something about swearing in the first so many seconds of a video. I don't know. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. Horizontal pursuits are things that you don't really get a lot out of. And I mentioned the way, at least in my opinion, truth and understanding in knowledge and power move vertically from bottom to top. Like, for instance, the people that have political power, like in this world, they're all on a vertical, they're on a vertical line. You know, they build power at the bottom, and then they can have more power as they go up. Whereas if you're like just a voter or something, and you're just a regular dude, you're on a horizontal line, meaning you can fight back and forth with your neighbors or friends that have a differing point of view, or a political ideology, but you're going back and forth. You're not gaining power. You're not gaining knowledge. It's a horizontal pursuit. I sometimes use the analogy of going up in a building. You want to remain on the elevator going up. You don't want to get off on a floor and just start running around the floor, because you're not learning. You're not, whatever your pursuit is, whether it's power or truth or understanding something better, you always have to go up, because the top is the top. And getting off of the floor, you're just running around in circles. So with that being said, there's a YouTuber named Crystal Time, and she's really good at breaking down media, like entertainment media. She's got some great stuff on Bowie that was really interesting. But she's telling me to watch this movie Freeguy, and I kind of knew the concept. Was like, what if NPC becomes self-aware? And so, and this was like a long time ago. I finally watched it just now, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. I have a hard time watching any kind of like movie or show or anything like that, because it's just like, looking at it, I can see it's just this exercise in trying to emotionally manipulate someone. It's just one thing after another, where it's like, they want me to feel this way. It's just like the magician problem. When you see the tricks, it just feels like, well, it doesn't feel like, none of it works on you. And I just roll my eyes through all this stuff. Like, oh, this is stupid. This is stupid. I mean, it wasn't. I don't know. I can't even say if something is good or bad anymore, because I can't really tell. It's just, there it is. It's a thing that exists. But I think it's interesting, the kind of truth drops that are in there. And they are in there, whether they wanted them to be in there or they were just in there by accident, because that's how this stuff works. I think more often than not, it just kind of happen. Forces work their way through the systems, especially a creative system, and they'll just automatically do things. It's more often that than guys sitting down in a back room somewhere. Although that kind of shit does happen, I think it happens a lot less often. And these things just, it's the opposing forces of the world, just they leak into things. They're leaky. So I could see that stuff in there, and yeah, it was interesting how that works, but I wasn't, it wasn't like this. Certainly for anyone that watches this stuff, wasn't anything like revelatory, she's really good at breaking down all the different smaller parts of something and she'd probably watch it and see all this stuff. And she does. Like if you watch her videos on the movie, she breaks it down. But to me, it's like one of those things where, yeah, if you know this stuff, right, you'll see it and you'll be like, oh wow, that's whatever. But if you don't know this stuff or have any idea this kind of perspective even exists, to you it's just still the movie where the NPC gains sentience and whatever. But she's good with picking out like satanic symbolism and all this other type of stuff. You can look at it, and her videos are great. I love her stuff. But yeah, the point is, she's always been talking about this movie. Finally got around to watching it, and it was cool. I mean, again, like it's so weird to say, but I don't know if I don't enjoy things like that anymore. I have a real hard time watching stuff like that because how can I, what bad analogy can I concoct for this? And I know many people in this field of study have a similar problem. I mean, I watched the Batman thing the other day just because I felt obligated to, you know, and even that was kind of tough. Well, it wasn't tough to get through, but I mean, if I waited a long time to watch it because I just didn't care. And even that movie, like, there were parts of it where I was like, all right, let's go, you know, fucking around on my other devices and stuff. It was cool, but I mean, I already talked about that shit show. But yes, for Freeguy, I think the concept is interesting, but again, there's just too much Hollywood stuff in there. Like everyone in the world is watching it now, like this Truman thing. Like we don't have cultural things like that unite people of the world or anywhere anymore. That's more of a mass media thing, like old media, you know, where people become infatuated. It still happens now on a celebrity, I guess, kind of level, or, you know, but not like where everyone's tuning into something like the Truman Show. I think the last time we saw something like that was the Seinfeld finale. And that's kind of a Mandela effect to me, actually, because I remember playing a gig or doing a gig the same night that finale happened, and they had it on in this club we were playing, and no one gave a shit we were there, which is, you know, par for course anyway. But and I remember thinking, oh, what the fuck, man, why does Seinfeld finale have to be on? So now it's like, I think that finale happened like in the late 90s or something. Anyway, the Mandela effect thing for me is that it now happened when I wasn't even in a band. You know, there's a lot of those personal Mandela effects floating around that people can get. I haven't had too many. That's one of them. Another thing that's band related is, well, the whole point, the way the Mandela effect came about is because of the Nelson Mandela thing. Like, did he die in 1989 or 90 or whatever it was? Or I remember I was in another group doing demos, demo tapes. This is like 1990. And Mandela was in the news because he had gotten out of jail. So because of that, we called the demos that we were recording, we called them the Mandela tapes. I want to say this is 1990. But then looking back on it, it coincides with the time, whenever it was, 89 or 90. No, it was 1990. It was 1990. It coincides with the time when people thought he died. I haven't looked too deeply into that, but it's pretty interesting. The actual core of the Mandela effect thing, like Mandela thing itself. I think that's how a weird thing that affects me, kind of related, is that people die more than once for me. When Charles Krauthammer died, who was a Fox News analyst, contributor, talking head guy, that was the second time he had died for me. Journey, the rock band, their manager, Herbie Herbert, who was their manager most of their career, when he died, that was the second time he had died for me. So I've had those kind of things, but as far as personal Mandelas, not very many, except for the few examples I named there. But I don't really keep up with the wider kind of cultural sort of changes or the pop culture changes. I just don't. It's not as interesting to me. And if something really crazy popped off or a big one came about, I'd probably hear about it, or I think I'd hear about it. But yep, I've kind of given up following that, you know. But anyway, yeah. So I finally watched the movie. It was cool. I see the parallels to our situation, especially when he was trying to get his security guard buddy to put the glasses on and he wouldn't do it. Like that was like, man, a lot of us have been there. But I gotta go get a iced coffee. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.